Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox, where we talk about all things Xbox from the original to the Series X. And today we are talking about Max Payne, which was released for the original Xbox in 2001, as well as the PC, PS2, and it also has found its way onto mobile phones. Max Payne was developed by Remedy Games, who you might know as the creators of the Alan Wake franchise. And Max Payne is a gritty noir-based third-person shooter, and Max Payne is one of the most famous names in all of gaming, even though he only has 3 games in total. Max Payne is just one of those games that has stood the test of time as a classic, and I've always been interested in it, but I've never really delved that deeply into the Max Payne games. So I decided to pick up this first one because it's backwards compatible with the Series X, which is where I got all the footage that I recorded today. Growing up knowing about these games, Max Payne has always stood out in my eyes mainly for its style. Just looking at it, it looks like a gritty noir film put into a video game, but it's mixed a little bit with John Woo action flicks and a graphic novel. It's a weird meeting place of detective novels but supernatural horror. I kinda love that about this game. It can be unabashedly goofy and cheesy at times, but it matches with this dark and gritty story. And I mean, Max Payne's entire family gets murdered by drug addicts at the very beginning of the game, and it slowly delves into the supernatural reasons that this happened. And it also has government espionage in it. I never knew once where this story was even going to go. It wasn't predictable. I do think its graphic novel cutscenes are great, but I won't say I loved all of the voice acting. I do love Max Payne's voice. I think he's awesome, but some of the side characters, I don't know, the recording quality to me wasn't really up to par as Max's. But I think overall it fits this noir style and mood, and I really appreciate how much Remedy in this game and a lot of their later games, they embrace the weirdness, and they could care less if you think that it's lame. If you think Max Payne is lame, it doesn't matter. We are going to go as hard as nails with this detective story. We're going to make it brooding, and we're going to make it weird. And it allows itself to have a little bit of humor in that too. It's not dead serious, and it's a ton of fun because of that. And just the gritty, dark, noirish look of it all really ties it together. Graphically, I think even in 2001 for the Xbox, it doesn't look incredible. But I do love this game's attention to detail. Every environment is rich with things to look at and read. You can go up to vending machines and just pop sodas out of them one at a time. A lot of the environments might look a little blocky, even for its time, but just looking through these side rooms, I don't know, there's this great depth to all of these levels. I especially love one in particular where you're in a hotel, and it feels like every hotel room has a nice small touch to it. If it's just a little piece of paper that you can read on the ground, or you can go into the bathroom and kind of see some secrets in their bathroom. It's really dynamic throughout the entire game. And one of the big things about this game is Max Payne diving in slow motion. So this has a bullet time effect where you can leap and slow down time to shoot easier, or you can just slow down time before turning corners so you can easily take down loads of enemies. And I think the dynamic elements of these game levels create a very interesting way to traverse this in slow motion and to leap around. There's a few times where I don't feel like the game plays well, and I think that's in Max Payne's Nightmares, where he kind of goes back and relives some of the pains of his past. It requires some platforming on really thin areas, and I don't know if it's better on PC, but on my Xbox controller, I just don't feel like the platforming worked really well. The way he runs is a little stiff, and when you leaped off of things, I was falling off a lot. It annoyed me a little, but otherwise, outside of these nightmares are very small portions of this game. I think this game plays great. It's a classic run and gun style game. Enemies are going to fly at you from all corners, and you have to blow them away with your guns. And there's always tons of enemies coming out at you. Either with no slow motion or with it, I think it feels great. Enemies aren't too tough, and killing them makes you feel so powerful, but I think it's the sheer amount of them that makes it a tough game. It almost reminds me of an early wave-based shooter in that way. Yet with these tight gunplay controls, I think it still works really well, and I think even to modern sensibilities, it may feel a little stiff, but shooting and killing feels great and a ton of fun, and every level throws it at you, and somehow it never becomes boring. Usually in a game like this, if you've done it over and over and over again, you're gonna get a little tired of it. But here, I think these dynamic levels, the fun world building, it all comes together to create a wholly memorable and enjoyable experience. It's a story at the time that stood out amongst its peers as something completely different because it strived to be truly cinematic, but it also matched that with a really great game. I still think gameplay-wise, Max Payne holds up, and I highly recommend checking it out, especially if you have a Series X or Series S. It is backwards compatible, so it's really easy to play nowadays. And if you go back to this game, really check out these levels and the amount of detail thrown into these levels. It's something that really captures the world, and even in some modern games I've played, they haven't strived for this much detail in level design, and I think that's where Max Payne really stands out. I think all the way around, the original Max Payne is an excellent game, and if you've never played it, it is a classic. Definitely play it, and if you haven't played it since it was new, it's worth going back to. I think you'll still appreciate it for what it is. And on my original Xbox ranking list, Max Payne enters its way right into the top 5. I put it under Ultimate Spider-Man because I do really love Ultimate Spider-Man's graphical look, and I do think I would rather go back and play Ultimate Spider-Man, but I do find Max Payne to be more replayable than Splinter Cell, so I put it right there at number 5. If you enjoy Max Payne, or if you don't enjoy Max Payne, let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear your opinions. I love hearing from you all. It really motivates me to make more videos. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel to get more content like this. But I'll see you here next time at Camp Xbox.